Okay, so magandang hapon sa lahat and welcome to the second episode 2 of our Bitpinas Webcast Crypto PH Weekly Show. So right now, i-introduce natin ang una ang ating topics for today. Una is the latest on the crypto markets, prices, and technical analysis with Adrian Rabino. And then ang spotlight sa Only's physical NFT exhibit in Ayala Legazpi sa Bicol. And then spotlight naman sa the new blockchain space with Peter Ng and what they're doing right now. They received some funding from international investors. And then finally, Axie spotlight, and we will talk about the Creators Cup and then new developments sa Axie Infinity like yung about the gifted Axies and mga nerfs. So without further ado, I'll introduce our guests. So una yung ating co-host for today, Chin from MPRCs. Chin, good
Hey
morning.
guys,
Good
good
afternoon.
afternoon. Afternoon, Mike. Thanks for having me again here.
Thank you. And then we have Ismael Jerusalem, CEO of Only. Isma, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello, Michael. Hello, Chin. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for your support. And then sunod naman is content creator, guild manager from or co-founder from Axie University. Spraky, magandang hapon.
Hi guys.
And then ang founder ng BlockchainSpace and Axie Academy, Peter Ng. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me, Mike.
Thank you all. So our ang setup natin ngayon sa ating stream is isa-isahin natin yung mga guests natin. For now, we will begin with Ismael. Okay? So, Isma,
All right.
magandang hapon.
So,
And
yeah.
so, yeah, so can you please introduce first yourself to our audience and what is Only?
So, hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ismael Jerusalem, the CEO and founder of Only. Only is a tech startup focusing on art and gaming NFT platform, and you also have our own token. It's called own token. Uh, and bago kami naging Only, we were crypto solitaire back in 2019. Then we pivoted now to Only to focus more on the art aspect. Before kasi focus kami sa gaming, the play to earn concept way back 2019. We were developing games. We entered Decentraland Game Jam 2019. Then, yeah, then sumali kami sa contest nila. Then we won the 13th place. Then, after no, nag-focus kami into art, kaya kami naging Only ngayon. Then we are trying to get back on track sa gaming by starting next year and the metaverse. And now, we are focusing on the art. Ito yung pinaka-latest collection namin is the tokenized physical art collection. So, we are exploring other utilities of NFTs aside sa NFT as an entity. Kasi mostly ng use case ngayon ng NFT is NFT as an entity representing the art, digital art. So, we try to explore and dig deeper na we can use the NFT token itself as the utility for tokenized physical assets. So, yun yung upcoming exhibit namin bukas. So, yan. These are physical paintings and we tokenize them. Tokenizing them meaning we create a specific token representing that physical item. So we are doing this because we want to eliminate the inefficiencies dun sa mga pagdating sa mga operational and logistical expenses, 'di ba? For example, the physical painting you have pag bibili siya pag ang buyer mo is from other country, you have to ship the physical item itself para ma-complete yung transaction. So to cut that inefficiencies kasi pupunta pa sa delivery, shipping, then other gatekeepers. So to cut those middlemen, we can tokenize the physical assets, and then we just sell the token itself. So, for example, nabili niya from one buyer to second buyer, you will just transfer the token. From the second buyer to third buyer, you will just transfer the token. You will not transfer the physical item. And then, if the collector, if the buyer wishes to redeem or to claim the physical item, one way na lang. So, you will just ship that physical item one way. So, yun yung ine-explore namin ngayon sa Only. And we have our own Only NFT marketplace. Doon namin siya nilagay. And then, yun, launching tomorrow with an NFT, physical NFT art exhibit here in Legazpi.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Shane.
Go ahead, Mike. Yeah. So,
So,
how many artists are actually? Sorry, Mike. How many
sige
artists
tal.
are actually involved in this collection?
Ayun din, we have three artists actually. And those
Mhm.
artists are local artists. Because ang pinaka-objective talaga namin ng tokenizing physical assets is creating a platform for local artists to showcase their works on a global market without
Right.
having yung mga gatekeepers, 'di ba, dadaan ka pa sa curator na ganito, sa collector na ganito, sa gallery na ganito, sa ganyan ganyan. That's the beauty actually about blockchain. It doesn't care who you are, where you're from. You can showcase your work globally. So, yun. So, ang artist namin are local artists from Albay. So, they are all physical medium
Mm.
artists. And,
Do they have
yes,
Twitter accounts, gano'n, or no?
yun din. Hindi sila
Mhm.
ganun ka-incline into social medias din. Facebook meron, Messenger. Pero yung sa Twitter, ganyan, wala, hindi din sila ganun ka-active eh. So we want to provide a platform for those kind of talents, di ba, na can compete naman globally through NFTs. And so yun.
Okay, so, kapag if I buy the NFT, you will yung physical painting will remain at your custody, 'di ba?
Aha,
Yun
aha.
yung parang mangyayari. And then, once I got the NFT, nasa inyo pa rin yung custody. What if I wanted the ano ulit, the physical painting? Ang pangyayari is parang the NFT will be destroyed or will be burned.
Yeah, yung token ibabalik sa
Mhm,
amin, then we will burn the token, then one way namin i-ship yung physical item. Pero as long as hindi pa naman i-redeem, nasa only siya, only House of Art. We will be creating our brick and mortar NFT gallery. It's called Only House of Art. Pero we are planning by next year to put it in Canada eh. So we can easily expand internationally sa mga local artists. So,
so,
ganun yung
mhm.
mangyayari. So,
One of the questions on Twitter is that why not just keep both the token and the physical art?
yun din,
Hello? Mm,
if 'pag gano'n kasi yung case, we will keep both ano, the NFT token and the physical art itself. Hindi din na-bridge yung gap between
mm,
the opportunity nung inefficiencies ng mga existing middlemen ngayon. Actually, yun kasi yung s solution na pino-provide ni NFT, eh. NFT used as a utility for those middlemen na matanggal na. Para at least, 'di ba, ma-highlight mismo talaga yung value talaga nandun sa physical art, not on the token itself. The token is only being used as a utility. So, ganun
so,
yung goal namin.
how important ngayon, this is also a question that I asked kay Jopet during the last live stream. So, how important is it for the artists of today to actually try to at least, go or to meet their own NFTs?
Yun din kasi it's inevitable actually. It's not a question of if the artist will try. Actually, the question is when. It's just a matter of time. It's like transitioning ourselves from the barter system into the current system na meron tayo ngayon. It's just a matter of time. Yung na-mention kanina, 'di ba, yung metaverse? Actually, I'm defining metaverse as a timeline, not a
Mm.
place to go. And actually, we are entering that kind of timeline where everything is valuable digitally. But hindi naman ibig sabihin na digital na lahat. yung physical asset, the tangibility aspect is wala na. So we want to keep that tangibility aspect by tokenizing physical artworks and using NFT as a token of utility for the opportunities ng artist na ma-expose sila globally. So yun, I think it's a matter of time for artists to adopt and ano na siya finish or not finish, pass your papers.
Maraming salamat, Isma, and paki-invite sila sa art exhibit niyo
Yeah.
bukas.
Ayun, if ever malapit lang kayo sa amin, kasi we're in Albay, we're in Bicol, and we have a very interesting blockchain scene here in the south of South Luzon. We have couple of NFT startups here, blockchain startups, crypto startups, and we would like to invite everyone na if may chance na makapunta kayo sa Legazpi. uh, we will be opening, I think this is the first, if not the first, at the one of the first tokenized physical art NFT collection in the Philippines. And we will have our NFT exhibit. We will also have talks about NFTs, about blockchain, Web3, metaverse on the same event tomorrow. Yun. And it's a free event lang actually, and we want to showcase talaga the technology. It doesn't care who you are, where you from, you can execute it as long as you can deliver the product or the project that you want to create. And yun, that's it.
Uh,
Thank you, Isma.
Thank you, Isma.
Judging.
Can you like just send them like which account should they follow in case they're interested to
Ayun.
attend tomorrow's event, and like the name of the place and then time?
You can follow our social media platforms kasi we will host both physical event and virtual event you can,
Mm-hmm.
for those people na who can't attend on the event, you can follow our social media accounts. It's at only.io, and NFT NFT artworks, you can visit and purchase them in our own marketplace. It's called only.market. The site is only.market, and they are minted in the Ethereum blockchain. So you can also view the
Mm-hmm.
collection on OpenSea. And yeah, the physical event will be at Ayala Mall's Legazpi Cinema. It's 5 p.m. onwards.
Yeah.
And yun.
Salamat, Isma. And Ma'am, Isma and only that IO will be giving away 5 winners nga 200K own tokens. So mag-comment lang kayo dyan, and then you might own this own token. So and then so right now, andyan na.
All right. We're
Salamat,
moving to
Isma. And
the
then so now we're moving to the weekly market trends. So, tapat taon na to, but dito na siya finally. Aldrin, magandang gabi sa'yo.
Hey,
Hi,
what's up
Adrian.
guys? Good eve. Sorry, nasa galaan ako eh. Na late. Kamusta?
Okay naman. So now sa market trends natin. So ito yung what I get is the weekly chart naman. So last time, di ba, parang sinimulan natin with the monthly chart or no, the daily chart. So this is the weekly chart of Bitcoin. So does not say anything other than looks up and it looks bullish and kapag ganyan lang siya. But now, so sa yung palagay, Adrian, how is the Bitcoin market performing today?
Sige. Sure. May screen na lang siguro, Mike. Okay.
Sige. Ito na pala.
Ayun. So last week kasi we discussed yung possible retracement due to trend niya eh. Yung trend niya last week kasi is going down talaga. I discussed those possible zone nasa maybe around 53. And it happens no yung 53 areas were in itong area na to. And then after hitting that price pullback agad siya. So currently falling wedge, we have falling wedge dito. Daily time frame yung time frame natin dito. So we have falling wedge din dito. So same goes here. So sa ating Fibonacci retracement, so upon plotting this, tinamaan niya yung 50, no? Itong area na to. Let me zoom in lang siguro. Itong area na to, which is, we mentioned this last week na possible support if ever na magkaroon ng retracement sa downside. It happens and then after that, price pullback sa upside. So currently, yung tinitingnan ko sa daily time frame, yung possible breakout naman sa upside. No? We're in around 58. Hopefully, magkaroon ng galaw in the next coming days kasi I think there's a event sa Canada, something like an ETF. This week ata ipapasok yun. So, magandang catalyst yun sa market. Though yung downside lang is yung parang yung bagong variant ng COVID-19, parang medyo naka-apekto din sa market yon. Pero upon checking dito sa chart, naging maganda yung confirmation niya as a retracement dito sa 53. Yan yung inaantay ko din na confirmation para mag-continue yung trend niya sa upside. So as of the moment, yung nakikita ko dito is healthy retracement na to eh. So there's a probability once na mabasag yung 58 zone. So maybe we'll see another resistance dito sa 60k territory, maybe 61 around that. Yan yung possible na take profits ng mga retail traders, ng mga traders, no. So as of the moment, possible siya na umakyat around, I think, 62 around that area. Again guys, itong video natin is itong TA natin today is just my own opinion lang and does not qualify as an investment or financial advice. So previous support kasi niya yan before nagkaroon ng galaw sa upside, no. So if ever na gumalaw yan dito sa taas ulit, since confirmed support area yung 53, so possible niya na i-retest yung maybe 60, no. Keep an eye lang or notice lang natin yung 58 na hopefully magkaroon ng break out sa upside, no, kasi nandyan yung falling wedge resistance natin. So if ever na mabasag to, there's a probability that the price may continue yung pullback sa upside and can happen yung ating mention last time, yung sapat niya, no, na parang ganyan yung mangyayari before it goes around here. Let me check lang dito sa ating Fibonacci extension kung saan yung possible na resistance niya. So, Fibonacci extension. One moment. Ayun. So, from here, going here, I think around siguro 80, around 75 to 80, yung possible na galaw niya if ever na magkaroon ng positive catalyst ulit sa market. Again, kailangan din natin i-consider pa rin yung previous resistance, no, kailangan basagin yan if ever na i-retest niya ulit itong area ng 68, 69 territory. If ever na mabasag, that's the time we come up on the next target. So, currently, nalungkot tong 53. So I have stops lang sa 50 just in case na mag-against sa bias ko yung price action. So yun, basically that's it yung perspective ko sa kay BTC as of the moment, no.
So you're saying na yung isa sa ating titignan is yung 60,000 level. And if it goes, so we will watch that, and kung umakyat siya, it is possible that the trend will continue to go up. Tama ba?
So sa early, titingnan muna siguro doon yung around maybe 58. Hopefully magkaroon ng breakout sa 58. Mag-above yung daily candle sa 58 territory, and then after that, that's the time na possible na i-retest next yung around 60 sa mga susunod na araw. Pero ayun, I just have stop loss pa din in case na magkaroon ng if ever na mag-against sa bias ko yung price action. Pero upside scenario kasi kailangan basagin pa rin yung mga previous highs. So previous high 68. So hopefully magkaroon ng breakout doon. Magandang confirmation kasi yun ng uptrend na continuation niya para i-hit niya yung around 80. Yun yung sabi ng extension, Fibonacci extension sa chart. So
speaking of that, so you are using yung Fibonacci extension, and so mag-isa mo, hindi mo siya mag-isa lang ginagamit, di ba? Meron ka din ginagamit, and especially for example yung support and resistance and all that. So Ngayon for our viewers here na parang new pa lang sa, if I'm a newbie, a position trader, and assuming we are in a bull market, so what could be the most basic technical analysis that you would want beginners to focus on?
Sige. For beginner siguro, I rather suggest to use yung support resistance. Sa oscillators naman, yan yung for validation. Maybe RSI, no? So, yung extension, ginamit ko lang siya kasi kumbaga, wala siyang previous highs eh. Kumbaga, yung all-time high, itong nangyayari na to. So, yung Fibonacci extension is just to see the probability sa upside kung saan possible na tumama. Dahil wala pa tayong historical data ng all-time highs niya. No? So, yun, for the newbies, it's better to study
Wala
yung
ako.
support
Hello?
resist. Adyan ka pa, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, yun, support resistance. And if you trade kasi, kasama yung emotion dyan eh. So, much better to control your emotion pa din. So, sabi nga nila, don't just validate the chart, no? So, wag kang magte-trade kasi sa tingin mo is ganun yung mangyayari. Much better to validate pa din sa chart. Support resistance, oscillators, RSI, just to measure yung pinaka-overbought tsaka oversold na territories, no? Para ma-notice mo na, it is price action is on the overbought, this price action is on the oversold territory. So, yun, basic lang. Much better pa din. Para sa akin, mas malaki yung percentage on how you treat the market eh. So, much better to control your emotion pa din. Kahit meron kang proper setups but you're not in a good position to trade, parang mas mataas yung emotion pa rin yung nangunguna doon sa pagte-trade mo. So, it's better to control your emotion. Study human nature, ganun.
Thank you very much, Aldrin, sa TA mo sa Bitcoin. So, kagaya last week, next naman na aming ipapakita sa iyo ay ang paboritong coin ng Pilipinas, ang SLP. So, meron ka bang TA sa SLP naman?
For SLP, siguro sa chart, dito na lang magbe-base din sa chart. Kasi, to be honest, on my own, I just bought around 0.58 eh. 0.58 eh. Bumili ako dyan. Pero, ayun nga, it's my
0.58.
own 0.058. 0.058. So, that's a support zone kasi. Siguro, medyo matagal na to na accumulation eh, sa SLP. So, sa tingin ko dito, may possible na Oy, Paps Coco, mag-join ka dito. Siguro yun yung ano ko. Nakapag-accumulate ako dyan sa 0.058. And if ever na mag-against yan, medyo malayo pa naman yung ano ko. Si Spraky, tara na. Yung pinaka-stop out ko. 0.58 nakabili ako dyan. Pero it's on the accumulation pa din yan. Support zone kasi yan eh. So matagal na ganyan yung price action. If you notice the chart kasi sideways yung price action niya. Pero galing siya sa declining. So there's a probability na after kasi ng accumulation, possible siya magkaroon ng galaw sa upside. Again, it's my own perspective lang based on what I've noticed sa current structure ng price action ni SLP. Hopefully, may mga i-inject na mga utility pa kay SLP. Much better siguro mag-buyback and burn siguro. Si Boss RR pala yun. So yun, buyback and burn and mag-add ng utility for SLP. Pero much better din. Isa sa nakikita ko, positive catalyst for SLP. Hindi lang si Binance yung mga nag-a-accept na ng SLP to trade on their platforms. Other projects like Bybit, nakita ko SLP, they are listed and so it's a good catalyst yun to add volume, liquidity to its token. So,
Yun. So, Salamat, Spraky. Salamat, Aldrin. So, mamaya nandito na si Spraky and we will discuss more about dito na sa SLP and sa Axie Creators. So, ngayon naman, ang ating next
Yeah.
topic.
Sure.
Hold on.
Thank you so much, Aldrin.
Welcome, guys.
Ayan na. So, joining us ngayon sa ating stream si ang dami na natin. So Peter, good afternoon sa'yo.
Hi, Peter.
Good afternoon, magandang hapon. I hope it's okay to speak in English.
No worries.
I'm gonna
Okay.
destroy the Tagalog flow.
It's fine. Okay, so I'll start. I'll introduce you first. So, Peter, you've been known in the crypto PH and play to earn scene like as an OG. Like when did you start like participating in these types of like crypto and play to earn projects? Was it 2018, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, that's correct. So we set up. So I'm actually a partner in a co-working space called Accelerate in Manila, and very fortunately, my partners were very open to sharing our space and opening doors to crypto enthusiasts back in 2018, where we used to host a lot of meetups. So I think we hosted in total around 150 meetups across 2.5, nearly 3 years. So that's how we got to meet Mike and the BitPinas team.
Oh,
Yeah,
you guys go way back, right? And yeah, since I think you've started like some events around Axie, like the Lunasian Scholarship League and projects around the sandbox, like the Pinasining contest. So moving from that type of events to blockchain space, like you guys have announced like really big announcements the past few weeks, like around the seed raise and then the strategic fund and of course the partnership with CoinGecko. So can you just like give our audience like an overview of what blockchain space is and what value are you guys providing within the play to earn community and gaming guilds?
Yeah, that's so cool that you've been following all the news. It's been coming out pretty fast, and even myself, I can't even keep up with how much stuff is happening at the moment. So maybe just to give some background, through BlockchainSpace, the physical event space. So Mike will remember this for many years. We used to advocate kind of adoption of blockchain technology and kind of teaching people how to get into wallets, teaching them how to trade, teaching them about kind of DeFi protocols and kind of new technologies. And so what happened was when Axie kind of took off last year, and I kind of knew this already because actually we hosted the Axie one of the very first meetups in the Philippines back in 2018. That was together with Gabby and Jiho. So yeah, we actually had Axie back in Manila back in 2018, but of course the community was very different then, and the game was very different then. But last year, when kind of the phenomenon kind of kicked off, super thanks to Leia and the Emphasis team for writing the amazing article and kind of like highlighting the story that was really happening on the ground. And that kind of rung a bell with me. That it struck a couple of bells. At the time, also, I think just a couple of months before, I saw. For the first time, the Axie game had changed from a web-based platform to a mobile-based game, right? And not only this, on the mobile now you could actually observe other people playing, right? So I saw these opportunities that, oh wow, the Axie actually looks like an esports game now. People can spectate and they can comment on this. And I remember seeing some of the Axie OGs like doing live streams, watching other people play and hosting tournaments, thinking, wow, this is going to be really big. I think, I could see other games kind of coming into this space and then other people spectating on this. And just didn't really expect how fast the whole blockchain game or NFT game industry would actually explode. And so after Layer released that CoinDesk article and then subsequently the documentary, it was very clear that for me there was kind of no going back. We had to go in and shift BlockchainSpace into kind of a different vertical. Right, and so the vertical was, I mean, the mission is still the same, right? And encourage adoption of the technology to as many people around the world as possible. But Axie showed us that, maybe the way that we were going about education was the wrong way, right? So they brought in maybe, they have 2.2 million players playing today. They brought in millions of people into crypto without, having to kind of, face those hurdles of like teaching them, the creation of the wallet and creation of and how to do transactions and how to understand private keys from the very start. Instead, what they said is, hey, there's a fun game here, right? There is a potential to earn in-game tokens that can be converted into real life currency, right? Real world currency, and you can play for free. So there was obviously there was this scholarship model that allowed people to come into the system for free, right? So it was amazing to see kind of I having been in the industry for so many years, you've never seen kind of widespread adoption of decentralized wallets as quick as when kind of Axie took off in the Philippines. And so that for me was the signal, this is true. NFT games really will onboard, the next how many hundreds of millions of people into crypto, right? It's just the most compelling way to bring people in with no hurdles, no technical barrier, no upfront cost, and of course the Axie scholarship model basically was the one of the key drivers kind of this growth, right? So the area that we focus on now as BlockchainSpace is we started one of the first Axie scholarship programs back in kind of September last year, made it official in November last year, and I wrote this article about Axie scholarships being this business that anyone outside of the crypto industry could actually participate in. I don't know how many people have read it, but I was very excited about it because having kind of been teaching people about this technology and seeing like people weren't that enthusiastic, right, to set up a MetaMask wallet or learn about how to exchange different currencies. But, suddenly they were really excited about getting in through these games, right? So I got very, very excited. Axie Academy basically started growing. And because of my background in fintech and e-commerce and having kind of access to kind of tech co-founders, I was able to build some tooling around the Axie scholarship model, right? So maybe just to give some context, for me, the way I see Axie scholarships is that is just one business model that these community of gamers, which we call guilds, are actually using today. Right, so in the future, I see that there are going to be many business models for different games around the world. Right, so you have maybe around 50 to 100 NFT games that are coming out, in the next 6 to 12 months. Right, and each one will probably have its own different business model. And even in Axie itself, I think there will be another business model that evolves. Just from like land gameplay. So when land launches, the rental model will be different. So it won't be about loaning accounts to people to play for a commission share, but it will be rather incentivizing communities to come onto your land, right, and to yield. To farm yields on your land, right? So I think there will be different business models that come out here. Now, why is this so exciting, right? So through our tooling that we created through Axie Academy, who, by the way, is 100% neutral in the space and wants to work with absolutely every guild in the world, right? We created some tooling basically to, number one, locally in Discord, where kind of 90% of the play-to-earn guilds are setting up. We created a bot that allows you to check your balances at any given time. Now, why was this so important for scholars or for players to be able to see their balances? well, there's this fundamental shift that's happened now. So the tokens inside your wallets, inside Axie Infinity, right? It's not just tokens of any game. So it's not like you're playing Candy Crush and then you accumulate a lot of tokens, right? It doesn't have the same meaning. Now, if you earn tokens in Axie, those are equivalent to dollars or equivalent to real life money, right? So it's the equivalent to seeing your bank account, right? So I think that that's something that people have to kind of absorb, right? Is that, you know, when you look at like a wallet for a play to earn game, right? All those tokens that you're earning are basically an extension of your wealth, or, you know, extension of, you know, what you own financially, right? So just like, so I used to think like everyone always used that bot for all the metrics. They want to compare themselves against other guilds, and they want to compare like, oh, how was my performance from last week to this week? But actually I realized, you know what, I think a lot of people are just using the bot to check what their bank balance is. So if you can imagine, like, I'm sure if I ask any of you guys right now, you probably know what the exact balances in your bank account is, right? And so it's exactly the same for these play to earn games. Like, you want to know how much is in your bank balance, how much is in your bank account, right? And so we basically had a lot of adoption, basically of this bot and of some other tools that we've been building, right? And it allowed us to basically aggregate a lot of data around play to earn guilds around the world, right? So actually, currently we are monitoring 2,500 plus guilds, right? So quite a few guilds. I think there is a lot more out there in the ecosystem, and I want to debunk this one myth. And sorry, guys, I know this is like a one long breath, but like this one myth that I want to debunk is that everyone seems to hear about the very, very large guilds kind of like leading the whole play to earn space. And whilst this might be true in terms of like treasury size, in terms of like assets that they have under management, you know, in terms of the actual accounts, you know, let's say just for Axie itself, right? I'm going to throw this one figure to you guys so that it just kind of like it will help you to understand like where the market is kind of developing from. Now, let's say 2.2 million Axie players in the world. We know that at least 30% are Filipino, right? A minimum of are 30% are Filipino, right? And so there are at least 700,000, let's say, Filipinos playing Axie Infinity. We know that the majority of Filipinos cannot afford an Axie account. I mean, the account is around $1,000, right? It's a very, very big cost to front up front, right? So we know that potentially these guilds and the scholarship programs are the ones that are supporting these Filipinos that are playing, right? Now let's aggregate all the accounts from all the biggest guilds in the world, right? So we know for a fact that YGG probably has over 5,000 accounts. Merit Circle recently announced that they have around 1,500. We see Unix guilds, they have around 1,200, 1,500. Let's just say all the big guilds together, right? Let's put the number together, right? And let's say they have around 50,000 accounts, right? So just out of the Filipinos in the Philippines alone that we know are run by, you know, scholarship programs, right? If we deduct that 50,000 from the 700,000, 650,000 accounts are still being, you know, supported by someone else, right? So the question is, who is it being supported by, right? And so I was really excited. Thank you, Mike, for putting up that data point on the screen. We started sharing these some of the insights that we've been aggregating across all these guilds. So I think that the number of guilds is kind of increasing every single day, but a couple of days ago it was 2,400. I think we already surpassed 2,500. So who are these people supporting the 650,000 accounts just in the Philippines alone, right? And it's the micro entrepreneurs, and these are what I call the micro guilds, right? So if you have a look at that data point right there, right, your typical community on Discord, right, the average community size is around 382 people, right? It's not thousands or tens of thousands of people, it's 382. Right, so that's the average, you know, across these 2,500 guilds. Now, what's the average number of scholars in that Discord server? It's 9. today, right? So there's 9 scholars, right, in that in a typical guild. So you can see that, you know, the average guild, the ones that are accounting for the 650,000 in the Philippines, right, alone, right, are run by micro guilds. So the micro entrepreneurs, the guys that said, you know what, I have extra $5,000 to $10,000, or I can take a loan to be able to, you know, buy up these accounts and then loan them out to other people to play. You know, these are your typical people. So it's your friends, right? I know like a few friends myself that have, you know, their own guilds, and it's become this like widespread business model, you know, for the average person. And that's really what gets me so excited, right? Is that finally crypto business models have opened up to the average person. You didn't need to know all the technical jargon before getting in. All you needed to know is I can own 10 Axie Infinity accounts and I can loan them to my friends. They can play and I get back a commission. Okay, that was a lot to take in.
Thank you so much for that really thorough explanation, Peter. And that's really a good insight because if we compare it with the axiearchipelago.org, which lists down like all of the guilds in the Philippines, you can see that it's from um, Batanes to Mindanao. There's a lot of guilds. I think it's around 800, right, Mike?
Yeah.
For Axie Archipelago that listed their own guilds. So you can see like the sizes of their guilds as well. And if you compare it with this data, it totally makes sense. So this type of data is really like helpful with seeing like the whole play to earn ecosystem just growing, not just in the Philippines, but like in different regions such as US, LATAM, or Europe. And with your partnership, of course, with CoinGecko, that one that you announced, how does this play out with that partnership?
Yeah, I'm so excited that you asked me. So, okay, the idea to integrate with CoinGecko wasn't like I won't claim that like I had a breakthrough idea. I saw that CoinGecko had listed all these Axie scholarships manually onto their platform, and I remember when they uploaded the data for Axie Academy, like our own scholarship program, that I remember the commission share was incorrect. Right. And for me, that was something very important, right? Because at the time, especially, we were talking about, you know, the guild should not be unethical and take too much share away from the scholar or the gamer who's basically playing on a daily basis. Right. And so, you know, you know, it struck a nerve with me. I said, like, you know what, I actually have some of this data, you know, and if I don't have all of this data, I can start to collect it, you know, and I can start to make it visible if the scholarship program wants to make it visible, right? So a lot of these guilds have just opted in to basically share this information. If they share the information, then we can actually start to share it with CoinGecko as well. And so we built data feeds from the information that we have been aggregating across the world. So you can start to see all these guilds from across the world into CoinGecko in real time. Right now, why would you want to do that? Many things. So firstly, of course, like if you want to show that, you know, your commission split is fair, you know, this is the way to communicate it to the world. I give a fair commission split, right, to the world, right? I don't do, you know, less than 50-50, or I don't do, you know, like some people have been caught out to do like 5 or 10% back to the scholar. And that's, of course, like not perceived very well. But big, like for me, the bigger picture is really, you know, I'm so excited by how NFT games or Axie has shown the way that, you know, the regular person can get into this business now, because it's so easy to understand the business model, right? So I now want to be able to help all those micro entrepreneurs, all those small guilds. I want them to be able to scale. Right now, the interesting part, and I'm going to throw another more metrics at you guys that might baffle you a little bit, but it kind of like it makes a lot of sense. Now, these big guilds that have 1,000 accounts, they're very asset heavy, right? And they make a very big, they take on very big risk, because let's say, I'm sure we're all Axie players here, so everyone understands how much the cost of an Axie is, right? Minimum $200 right now, right? So if you think about it, if you have 1,000 accounts, one Axie across 1,000 accounts, right, will cost $200,000. That's a $200,000 investment for just one Axie across 1,000 accounts, right? Now, when Axie changes the game mechanics, and it happens so often, like with season 19, a lot of the cards were rebalanced, right? Meaning that a lot of the Axies that people had in their scholarship programs need to be replaced. Now let's think about that one Axie across 1,000 accounts in a big guild, right? To replace one Axie in 1,000 accounts, it'll cost you $200,000 to change that. It's so big, and the thing is that the Axie is not going to stop rebalancing cards, right? They're not going to stop, making changes to their game mechanics, right? And it'll probably happen the same with all other guilds as well. All other games as well, right? The game will keep evolving and it will become fun. And, for them, that's important that, they do update these mechanics. Otherwise, the gameplay becomes very sterile. So you can't ask Axie not to change these cards. So, okay, then these 1,000 account guilds, how are they going to scale, right? How are you still going to be able to expand if you can't keep taking on more assets, right? And one way to do that is invest or partner with these micro guilds, right? And so how do you know who those micro guilds that are performing well around the world? Well, guess what? Especially with that integration with CoinGecko, you can start to see, who are the best Axie Scholarship guilds that perform best across the world, right? So we can actually start to even make that even more granular. We can start to say, okay, who are the best in the US? Who are the best in South America? Who are the best in Asia and Southeast Asia, right? So, and then now Africa is starting to come up as well. And I know India's out there. We haven't got any data on India. So if anyone from India is listening, then we'd love your data too. But this is all about empowering the micro guilds, micro entrepreneurs. It's a much bigger vision than my own, but it stems from doing all that education for people and trying to get people to adopt the technology. And now it's just become a business model where everyone can understand it.
Right. And how many guilds are currently using this tooling platform that you guys have?
So the number of guilds around today's around 2,500 plus. I guess like every day, depending on how many people install our bot. So the easiest way is basically install the Axie Academy Discord bot into your Discord server, and then you become part of the data set, right? And very importantly, I just want to mention, we don't share like granular data on like individuals, because some of that we recognize can be very sensitive or personal, right? So what we do is rather we aggregate data and then we provide averages, right? So how is the guild performing as a whole, right? What is the average MMR or the ranking of scholars within a program? Or what is the average SLP per day, right? So we don't provide the granular unless basically the guild explicitly says so.
Right.
Okay, so
Mike, do you have any questions? No?
yeah, before my question, I would like to add now Spraky on the chat, on our live stream. So magandang gabi, Spraky, sa'yo.
Hello, kamusta?
Yan.
Salamat
So,
sa pag-invite dito sa webcast ng Bitpinas.
salamat din. So, I guess all of us are probably Axie players here or Axie managers. So, Peter, on your Discord bot, so anyone, any guild can actually just the way that they do is that they just need to have the bot join the account or their guild server, right? And is this free or and also how safe is the bot?
Yeah, it's 100% free and it's very, very safe. So the only data you're providing is literally your Ronin address, which is already public, right? So you're providing your public Ronin address. You never provide any private keys or anything that's unsecure.
Right.
So
Nice.
yes,
Yeah. And so going back to the news about like the recent seed and strategic funding, like you've got big names like in the play to earn industry like Animoca brands, big exchanges like Crypto.com, OKX, Alameda Research. Like, how does it feel like you witnessing Axie moving from 2018 up until now and like seeing all of these funding into games and guilds and of course this type of tooling? Like, how does it feel or what's your vision for like play to earn like globally?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about adoption. It's really about adoption, right? I think the bigger picture, and as Animoca Brands has always said it, Yatsil from Animoca has said this from a long time ago, and I've been following him for years now. Is that NFT games will probably be the portal basically for all people to come into this space, or at least the majority of people into this space. And so I think we're starting to see things that we never imagined before, like having these business models suddenly appear that never existed before. Loaning accounts, and they were gaming accounts. I mean, you can now start to loan other NFT assets as well in the future, and I'm sure lots of other business models will appear. So, I mean, I think all my investors share exactly the same vision, which is, support all the NFT games and the businesses that are basically starting up within this space, right? Accelerate their growth, provide them with the tooling that they need. So like CRM solutions, automated cash out. I know Spraky's waiting for this. So we talked
Yeah.
about it the other day. And provide them with benchmarking to understand like how well are we doing against other businesses out there, and then finally financial services, which is kind of fortunately that's kind of been my background for the last couple of years, which is understanding how to automate issuance of credit lines down to different wallets into digital wallets. And so we want to be able to make so that's one of our ambitious goals is because of the data that we've been aggregating. So we've got a lot of performance data that you could also consider as kind of in the financial world credit risk data, right? And this is data that the unbanked or people in developing markets like the Philippines never could provide to their own banks to set up a bank account. So think like how many Filipinos didn't have a bank account, and now suddenly they have a Ronin wallet, right? And it's absolutely insane that the Ronin wallet has become their first bank account. But then now they can finally access all those financial services that weren't available to them before, right? So things like credit lines. So should someone want to be able to scale their guild, or should a scholar want to be able to graduate, we can see basically what is the performance of that scholar for like the last 3 months, and then make a risk assessment to understand like should we extend them like 1,000 SLP or 5,000 SLP, and then how long should they take to pay that back. And we can actually automate that right now through our Discord bot, which is where all of the the Axie community and all the guild members are sitting right now.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Peter. I know we're kind of like extending this particular topic, but where can people find more about blockchain space? Like, do you have any Twitter or Medium site?
Yeah, so you can check out our website, so blockchainspace.asia. Also check out our Twitter, we're blockchain_SPC. And we've got lots of news, very exciting times.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you, Peter. So speaking of Ronin wallet, I heard sa Cabanatuan daw halos lahat ata may Ronin wallet na, and nandito si Spraky. Magandang gabi
Mhm.
sa ulit, Spraky. So
Hello.
you were featured in the CNN article.
Mhm.
And sa madami na ring articles na from CoinDesk, etc. So balita mo nga kami, anong nangyayari ngayon sa Cabanatuan when it comes to Axie Infinity and yung ecosystem diyan ng Ronin?
So dito sa Cabanatuan, sobrang parang big hit talaga yung Axie Infinity dito sa area namin. So, hindi lang sa Cabanatuan in particular, pati sa buong Nueva Ecija. So, ayan, nag-start kasi parang dito simula na malaman ng mga tao sa Nueva Ecija at sa Cabanatuan, dahil nga dun sa may article din ni Lea sa CoinDesk, yung dito sa which is dito sa Cabanatuan, yan yung mga nandun sa article. So, tapos yung mga lahat, kahit sinong tanungin mo, kung hindi sila, yung mga tao dito, kung hindi sila nag-aaksi, meron silang kakilalang nag-aaksi, ganun kalaki. Kasi nagpunta kami sa ibang places like, ko sa Cebu, sa Boracay, and sa Manila. Parang, pag may tinatanong kami, Kuya, alam nyo ba yung Axie Infinity? Parang yung iba, may idea, pero hindi kasing laki dito sa Nueva Ecija na talaga, uy, nag-a-Axie yan, nag-a-Axie yan. Alam nila agad. Tapos, ayan, like, sabi nga din ni Peter before, yung mga nag-a-Axie, yung mga scholars doon, like, sa amin, yung scholars namin, yung iba doon, parang wala naman din silang sariling bank accounts. So, parang yung mismong like parang bank account nila na first yung Ronin wallet nila. So, ayun, nakakatuwa dito kasi syempre di sa Nueva Ecija, ang sobrang talagang ang laki ng community na din. So, yeah.
Ilan na ba yung meron kayong guild, yung Axie University? Ilan na
Mhm.
ba kayo doon at paano ba sumasali yung mga gustong maging scholars ng guild ninyo?
So, nag-start lang kami sa couple of scholars, mga 4, nag-start kami ng 4. Nag-start kami last year, November 2020. Ako unang naglaro sa aming tatlo, then si Ken saka si Potts yung partner ko sa Axie University. Naging basis namin yung mga nauna sa amin, yung mga OG sa Axie, like Peter, Axie Academy, um, Real Deal Guild, sila Ben, ayun, sila Kuku. So, yung parang scholarship model nila, parang 60%, 70%, parang doon namin nakuha yung yung SLP sharing ng scholars. So, kaya kami sa Axie University, dun sa sa main, binibigay namin talaga sa scholars is ayun, 70% kasi ang nag-usap kami niyan nung nag-start kaming tatlo. Parang it's not about the money, eh. Parang it's about the community kung paano natin matulungan yung isa't isa. Yun kasi yung talagang parang na-focus namin. So, ewan ko kung ano, pero yun talaga honestly, yun yung yun yung talagang yun yung talagang nasa puso namin sa Axie University. Tapos, right now, meron na din kaming mga ilang affiliates, mga Axie University diyan kung nakikita nyo, mga Axie University Evo, Madness, mga affiliated namin, na nagraran din sila ng sarili nilang scholarship programs. So sila, may kanya-kanya silang scholarship programs, mga friends namin na inintroduce namin sa Axie Infinity. Then like right now, meron silang sarili-sarili. Nakakatuwa kasi nung nag-start kami, sabi nga ni Kuko, nung kagabi sa stream namin, parang parang ang alang naniniwala sa amin eh. Nag-start kami parang around 10K lang yung active users. Ayan, sila Axie Academy. So, ayan, sila RDG, and sila Nate. Parang may mga scholarship pero hindi pa ganun kadami. Parang a couple of ano lang, scholars. So, then after no, nakakatuwa kasi ngayon, ilang daily active users na tayo, parang I think 3 million plus na ngayon eh. From last year, parang a year lang, from 10,000 like ganitong date, tapos a year lang lumipas, parang ang laki na. So, talagang nakakatuwa din. So, and Axie Infinity is a game naman din na kaya it meant to be to to play. Parang kailangan mo enjoyin yung laro. Kaya ayun.
yung ngayon, so parang yung Axie, meron na siyang 2 million plus players, di ba? And I guess we can say na madami sa mga new players or new managers have arrived during the masasabi natin nitong July when SLP was very high or something, and then now it is at a certain price. So anong message mo sa mga, kasi you might see some comments here and there, anong message mo sa mga, for example, mga scholars, kahit hindi sa kung ano yung sinasabi niyo sa sa guild niyo when it comes to the price of the SLP?
Yeah, siguro sabi namin dun sa mga scholars namin. Actually, sila din talaga yung talagang nag-grind pa din, hindi naman sila yung, "Ay okay lang 'yan." Mataas pa rin naman yung price compared sa ibang bagay. Kasi dito sa area namin sobrang, alam mo yun, probinsya. Share ko lang sa naming scholar si Maki. Si Maki nagta-tricycle 'yan, tapos pandemic walang maisakay. Yung nasa as a video 'yan, yung sa documentary ng Play to Earn. So, nila Lea. Oy, shoutout Nathan and Lea, andiyan nanonood sila. So, ayun, si Maki kasi nung unang inaya ko yun maglaro kasi nakita ko wala siyang sakay, walang pamasahe, parang kinikita lang niya ₱50, ₱100 a day, binibigay niya sa mama niya, sa parents niya. So, parang ang laking opportunity kasi dito sa area namin, eh. Hindi hindi unlike 'pag sa Manila 'di ba, parang yung minimum wage, ah, okey naman na 'di ba? Kaya lang dito kasi sa area namin sobrang parang 'pag kumita ka lang ng ₱3,000 parang okey na, maka-survive na for a month, parang gano'n. So, then ayan si Maki, inaya ko, in-expect nga lang niya 1,000 a month, 2,000, sobrang laking bagay na sa kanya. So, wala talagang ine-expect. Tapos ayun nga, nag-SLP pump, then tumaas, sobrang nagpagawa siya ng bahay nila kasi tumutulo-tulo na din. So, ayun, nakakatuwa. Then nung bumaba yung price ng SLP, like right now, actually mataas pa rin 'yan, kasi nag-start kayo maglaro around o less than ₱1 yung price ng SLP. So, may mga changes, so kailangan lang mag-adapt sa changes sa game kasi at the end of the day, game pa rin 'yan, eh. It's meant to be ano, to be played at para mag-enjoy ka, yun lang.
Lagi ko nga sinasabi, from Cabanatuan, from the street ni Art to Holo or to, but yun nga, from Cabanatuan to all of the
Yeah.
Philippines. So ngayon, meron na tinatawag na Axie Creators Cup ngayong Sabado, or which is kasama ka.
Si Kuko ang kasama
Si
sa
Kuko
creators.
kasama. Parang
Yeah.
So, but so within parang 2020 and then this one, within 1 year alone, sumabog siya ng ganito. So, did you ever think na Axie will go this big, this fast?
Ano kami, siguro parang naniniwala kami dun sa Axie, sa game. Naniniwala kami sa space, 'di ba? So, in-expect namin darating tayo sa point na 'to, pero parang parang hindi ganito hindi ganito kabilis. Pero naging positive naman. Yes, merong mga hiccups pero 'yan, like ngayon andiyan na mga mainstream gamers, mga esports players, celebrities, nag-a-access sila like Eric Eruption. Yeah. So, ayun, nakakatuwa kasi ngayon may Creators Cup na. Ayan, support natin si Kuko, andiyan. Sana manalo ka para alam mo na, we'll drink again. So, ayun, then kasi nung nag-stream kami, ayan, sila Shanks, sila Kuku, nagse-sendan lang kami ng stars, may tawag nga kami rebates, eh. So, pag nag-stream ako, sesendan ako ng $50. Sila Crypto Fortune. Ayan, sila Aldrin, sendan lang kami 50 stars. So, mamaya, pag nag-stream yung isa, sesendan namin ulit. Talagang lahat kami, parang ang lit lang ng streamer community nun. Nanonood lang doon sa amin, 50. Malaki na pag 100. May giveaway nun pag 100 yung nanonood. So, nakakatuwa. Ngayon, ang dami na. Mag-stream like sila Eric Eruption, sino ba sila Chares, tapos si Bornak, di ba? Parang mga mainstream streamers sila na nandito na rin sa community natin. So, nakakatuwa talaga. Tapos ngayon meron tayong Creators Cup para mas makilala pa ng buong Pilipinas, hindi lang naman buong Pilipinas, pati buong mundo kung ano yung Axie Infinity at anong ginagawa natin dito sa community natin.
So, yes. So, ang Creator Cup is ngayong December 4. So, sino bang ano natin dito? Sinong bet natin ditong mananalo?
Siyempre si Kuya Kuko Crypto natin. So pag nanalo yan, meron daw tayong 10% pang food panda natin. So, and support nyo lang guys at sa December 4, Saturday yata. Yeah, Saturday, 1 p.m. So, meron tayong English sa stream niyan and Filipino stream.
I would
Okay.
like to point naman yung isang question sa stream natin. So, can someone in the panel give a simple explanation of blockchain for people who are having trouble understanding its uses in gaming? So, anyone in the panel? Sige, Peter.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to unmute myself. I think the simplest way to understand that is with blockchain comes cryptocurrencies. And now these cryptocurrencies in the games can now be converted into real life currencies. Right. So that's what one of the uses of blockchain in these games. And then the second part is, and you have to kind of research this a little bit more, is the use of NFTs, right? So each game character or asset in the game can now be an NFT, right? And that NFT has many, many use cases. Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have other
And
questions. Yes.
you have anything to add? Okay. Just to add to like what Peter said, it also like that in-game assets, you actually can own those assets compared to like traditional games wherein it's staying inside the game and the developers. So with like play to earn games like Axie, you can actually own those assets and sell it to other people, and it has its own value, not just in the game, but then like for collectors or like other players that just wants to like explore and like widen their collection. There's actually a lot of use cases for it. So that's one other explanation for blockchain use cases in gaming. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. I'll just highlight isang comment from Renzel. So he mentioned that the assets can't be hacked or changed, and most of the assets are only valuable in the game. But di ba sa Axie parang they have this parang ecosystem wherein other games can actually utilize the Axies themselves because those are the NFTs. Tama ba ako, Spraky?
Yeah. For example, like sa Sandbox, magkaroon ng collaboration, pwede nilang i-integrate dun yung Axies, yung mga assets from Axie Infinity to Sandbox. Like yung sa Cyberkongs. Cyberkongs, pwede mong gamitin yung Cyberkongs mo, yung NFT assets mo sa Sandbox. So, yan. Yun yung advantage ng blockchain.
Yeah,
Mga
the
NFTs.
interoperability.
Isma, di
So,
ba, di
actually,
ba you are going? Hello? Isma,
actually,
di
ito
ba
na
you're
yung
going?
sagot dun sa previous question, di ba? Actually, this is the answer dun sa previous question. Itong nakapin ngayon. That imagine a technology where game assets can be used outside the original environment of a game. That's blockchain. So that's simply how I would explain it to people. Na you can use or utilize any asset outside of the original environment, and it's blockchain. That's the technology.
Di ba,
So
Isma, you will have a game na upcoming then soon
yeah,
utilizing
yeah,
your
yeah.
can you
Yeah.
briefly describe that? And are you going to also to integrate Axie Infinity on your
Uh,
future games?
no, we will be creating a game based on our NFT art collections. So we want to add more utility sa art. So it's not just an NFT art collections, but an NFT art collections with a play to earn concept by next year. So we will start by the Mustachioverse. So it's as a avatar actually. It's a
Mm.
PFP where the concept of Axie, where lending the asset to other players can also be used. So we prepare first the fundamentals. So we first launch the NFT collections, build the community, players who will be playing the game. Then we will be creating the game on a community based. We will build it in public. Actually, the game will be built in public. So yeah, that's something we are working on, and we will be focusing by next year. Actually, early preview will start like first quarter next year. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Isma. So, a
Uh,
question from Joy Urtiza. So, besides Axie Infinity, what other NFT games are up for scholarship soon or now? So, I think this is a question for everyone. So, let's start with our co-host, Ching.
I think people are starting to play Titan Arena, right? Spraky,
Yeah, yeah,
Alvin.
yeah.
Yeah, that's something
Already
that I've
like
seen.
2 million downloads already.
Yeah, so that's one I've seen recently.
What about you, Isma?
in-game namin darating. Ayun, kasi we also have our own token so we can utilize
Mm.
our own token aside from SLP. And we have real world value na din kahit papano. Then, yun.
And then, Spracky?
Siguro I'm waiting for Guild of Guardians. Yun ang kasi mahilig ako sa mga ganun dungeon style games. So, yun yung hinihintay ko. GOG.
And so, Peter?
So, as the Philippines Sandbox ambassador, I am obligated to tell you that the sandbox is ready. But honestly, I've seen Play to Earn. The alpha is being tested right now. In a couple of months, everyone will be able to Play to Earn in the sandbox. Up until now, it was just voxel creators, so artists that could create assets and then sell them in the marketplace. But now, when the game actually launches after the alpha, then anyone will be able to just visit the different lands and then complete quests and then earn sand tokens.
So, Crypto Fortune, Aldrin.
Halos
Ano yung mga
na-mention na
games
rin
yung
nila.
nasa scholars mo?
Ayun, Sandbox. Sabi ni Peter, baka possible din yan. Titan Arena, I've been playing na din, pero there's certain thresholds ata. I don't know if can be implemented as a scholarship, pero yun, yun, Titan Arena, I think sa on BSC na side.
So, do we have other questions sa ating comment stream?
Yeah. If not, we can go to the raffle for the
Yeah.
SLP
Maraming
and own tokens.
So, maraming salamat sa ating panel, Sheen, Spraky, Peter, Isma, Crypto Fortune. So, ngayon punta tayo sa raffle. Hold on. So, ang winners natin will get 3 winners of 100 SLP and then ang 5 winners ng 200k own tokens. Tama ba? Or 600k own tokens. Hold on. This is yun. Ayan. So, nakikita ba yung screen natin? Kita na ako.
Yes, Mike.
Okay, so unang winner for 100 SLP.
Drum roll.
Kuko, you won
Kuko.
100 SLP. Message mo lang ako. And then
Congrats,
next,
Kuku.
congrats. And then next is Larry Janondonga, nanalo ka ng 100 SLP. PM mo lang yung BitPinas page. Salamat sa pag-comment and sa pagsuporta.
I-re-roll daw ni Coco. Ayan, andyan na sa chat.
I-roll ba?
Cooks!
Sige.
Ayan,
Nice one.
pamigay
So,
na lang daw.
Okay.
ngayon FIEA, nanalo ka ng 100 SLP. So, mag-message ka lang sa Bitpinas Messenger. Okay? So, ito yung re-roll ni Hindi Ko Crypto.
Hey Mike, Peter asking on the back.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, so si Aya is is on the back and then ano natin
Reroll ulit.
recording us on the back. So re-roll din natin to. And Peter is offering guild token. So Peter, how many guild tokens are you going to give away?
I think we can do $100 worth. It's not out yet, so you have to wait till it's launched.
Okay.
Okay, so how many winners?
$100 times 3.
Okay, so
Oh,
three
Wow.
winners. So
3
wow.
winners. Let's comment.
yeah. No, we cannot
Maybe we can
kita
check.
sali. So
Yeah,
meron ng
yeah,
dalawang
yeah.
Pwede,
nanalo
Mike.
ng 100 SLP, di ba? And then so i-re-roll muna natin for the third
Ah,
Last
SLP.
one
Hold on.
reroll for SLP.
Okay. Jasper B.
Ayun.
Hayutin. So, Axo
wow.
lang. Saka lang. So,
Ayan,
I guess scholar to
namin.
ni Spraky. Nanalo ka naman natin SLP. Message mo lang kami sa Bitpinas. Maraming salamat sa suporta. So, ngayon, yung 600K worth ng own tokens courtesy of
200K ata.
only.io. Ay, 200 ba?
200K.
Basta 5 winners to. So, isa-isa na natin. Daming pa premyo. Thank you for chipping in, Isma and Peter. Nanalo na siya kanina, di ba? Sila Rizal.
Yeah, nanalo na siya for
So,
SLP. Let's reroll
okay.
for one more.
Draw natin. Bear Ariel Noveno. So, you won own token. So, you win own token. So, maraming salamat sa suporta and message mo lang kami sa Bitpinas to get your prize. So, may isa na for own.
Ano ba yung scholar na? Si Beer.
Scholars mo ba?
So, Glenn Plauta, nanalo ka ng own tokens. Message mo lang kami. Maraming salamat.
Okay, third winner.
Nico Masaka, maraming salamat sa suporta. Nanalo ka ng own tokens. Sana may drum roll na. Hindi ko alam kung paano.
Sa
siya.
next
Manual na lang.
episode.
Next episode. Next episode ulit, guys. And then, Artist Landicho Atienza, fourth winner ng own tokens.
Oy, another
Mukhang
scholar
scholar
na
na naman to.
Nood lang kayo every week.
Nanalo ka ng own tokens. Maraming salamat sa suporta. Message mo lang kami. And then, ang fifth winner, I see Renzel Ian Toledo. So, Power to Crypto ang kanyang message. Maraming salamat. Message mo lang kami. Nanalo ka ng own tokens. Ngayon, ito na yung dalawang $100 worth ng guild token courtesy of Peter Ing and BlockchainSpace. Thanks again, Peter, for this two prizes. Kiev and you won. Oh, sakto. Thank you so much for the information, Sir Peter. You won guild tokens courtesy of BlockchainSpace. Just message us for your prize. And Carlo Camacho, sir, pagtulong sa community. Thank you so much for joining this and watching the stream. So nanalo ka ng 100 worth ng guild tokens from Peter Ing. So ayun na, kompleto na, no?
I think we have 3 for guild tokens or just 2 ba?
Yeah, we can do one more.
Yeah, one more.
Okay. Okay, one more. Salamat.
Last winner is
Joy
Joy.
Gortiza. So thank you so much for watching and commenting. Nanalo ka ng guild tokens courtesy of Peter. And I think last time then BlockchainSpace and Sandbox. I think last time din nakalimutan kong mag-raffle ng isa pang SLP winner. So ano natin ngayon,
sige.
raffle lang natin.
Pwede ba akong
Daming
mag-add
winner.
ng 500 SLP na
Nako,
sa
Ayun
isang
daw.
winner?
dami.
Isang lucky
Ah,
Nice
Sige, ako
one. So,
din. 500. Yeah.
ayan. Para lahat, para masaya.
Grabe,
eh,
packed yung
dapat talaga may drum roll yan. So,
Ah,
El Marcheta, 100 SLP.
Okay.
Message mo lang kami. And then, kanino kay Spraky, 500 SLP? Sa
one
isang
winner lang,
maswerte
one winner.
500
spicy
SLP for
stream.
1.
Yeah, isa lang din.
Nice one. Nanalo na to kanina. So, next pick tayo. Nanalo din siya kanina, di ba?
Nanalo na.
Nanalo na.
Dami.
Oo nga.
So we just need 2 more names.
Wow!
Crypto!
Crypto! Reroll yan, reroll.
Reroll
Reroll
yan,
yan,
reroll.
reroll.
Swerte ni Kuku nakadalawa na siya.
Oh, Nathan.
No, it's rigged.
It's
So,
rigged.
Nathan, you want 500 SLP or do you want to
Okay.
reroll?
Where are you?
Do you wanna
I
reroll?
think reroll
Wait,
niya yan.
wait.
Nandyan ba siya?
Wala eh.
Nasa stream ba siya?
Wala ata. We can reroll on the next
Okay.
link na lang
Ano
instead.
na lang. Kapag sinabi
Okay.
niya, ayan.
Yes.
Okay. Yung kay
So,
Adrian.
finally,
Just one more.
Ayan. Nate's here. Sabi niya, reroll.
Reroll na din. Sige.
Okay. Ayun na. So, ito yung winner ng 500 SLP from Spraky, Dobles Enero.
Ay, scholar ko yan. Ako
500
na magkakontak.
Sige.
And then yung kay ilan ulit yung kay kay Aldrin?
500 din.
500 din.
500 SLP.
Okay, last winner.
Oh!
Thank you.
Nireroll ko na siya. Nanalo to kanina,
Ayun.
right?
Okay, last one.
Ayusin ko to next time, yung choosing ng random winner.
Sige.
So, Pia Chorino, nanalo ka ng, tignan mo yung comment niya. nanalo ka ng 500 SLP from Aldrin. So, ayun. I-replay ko na lang yung stream later to check all the winners. So,
Yeah.
I guess that's it. And maraming thank you so much to all of you who guys, Peter, only Isma, Axie, Spraky, and Aldrin. Salamat sa pagdating dito. And do you have other, or actually we should so 6:30 na. And so again, so Isma, so where can people find you? And any last words?
Hello. You can follow us on our social medias only. It's only.io. You can also visit our website only.io. Also in Twitter, it's only.io, pati Instagram and all social medias. And we have marketplace. You can visit our marketplace. It's only.market. And our upcoming tokenized physical art collection tomorrow at 5 p.m. onwards. We both have virtual event, physical events simultaneously.
Yeah, at
So
Ayala
thank you.
Malls.
Yeah,
And
at
then
Ayala.
Peter?
Thank you, Peter.
Okay.
Peter,
So,
where can people find you?
yeah, the best place is already on Twitter, I guess. So I'm Peter Ing _. And then BlockchainSpace is blockchain _SPC. So find us on Twitter, please.
Thank you, Peter. And then Spraky, where can people find you?
And follow nyo lang ako sa Twitter at AXISPRAKYGG. Tapos sa Facebook, yan din. AXISPRAKYGG. Tapos follow nyo na din yung Axie University main na Facebook page. Yun lang.
And then last, Aldrin, where can people find you?
Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Ayan, Crypto Fortune. At
Yeah.
Crypto Fortune. Ayan. Thank you.
And then Chin?
Yeah, my Twitter handle is here at Chinny. So yeah, I think that wraps up everything for this webcast episode. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you,
Okay.
and see you
Thank
Thank
next week.
you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
SLP 10 pesos.